This is my recording for the Colorado Grande qualifying competition. I hope that you enjoy it. Little Miss Mary was tired of shopping. All day on her feet, she'd been merrily hopping, from boutique to salon, from one to the other, while asking for this and for that from her mother.
I want to have this. Ooh, and I want to have that. These shoes that I bought will look just so nice with that hat. My open-toed sandals are just so passé. If I wore them to school, what would the girls say? I need a new skirt and a dress and a jacket. For tennis, new trainers to match with my new racket. New t-shirt, new blouse, a new Fendi bag. The one on display with a whopping price tag.
Yes, spoiled children. The kids that'll throw a tantrum when you get them the iPhone 9, and they wanted the iPhone XS Plus Infinity, or whatever Apple is making these days. But what if these kids' inner monsters were to become alive, an entity, if you will? Would they scream? Would they run away? Or would they do something completely different? Little Miss Mary and the Big Monster Makeover by Gigi Taraprov. That's enough for today. You've maxed out the Amex. Any more shopping will have to wait till tomorrow. There's plenty more money that Daddy can borrow. Ooh! So off home they drove, mother and daughter, hydrating themselves with avian water. Mom at the wheel of her new Chelsea tractor, Miss Mary behind her, poised to distract her.
How can one tell the difference between bootleg bags and real Chanel?
Or with questions like,
Mom? Mom?
Mom!
Why don't we have a butler?
But now she was tired and lay in her bed. She put on her night mask and drifted to sleep, counting sheep after sheep after sheep after sheep. But all the while thinking,
How would it be better to use all their wool for a Burberry sweater?
soon little Miss Mary was out like a light. But she didn't sleep long and woke up with a fright. She opened her eyes and was very surprised when a huge, hairy monster materialized. The monster yelled, boo, to give Mary a scare. But Mary just fixed the great beast with a stare. She looked up and down from his toes to his hair with total disdain, while the monster just stood there. Why? Asked the monster. You show me no fear.
Have you looked in the mirror? You're just the last year. Your tail isn't bad, but is there a reason for sporting those horns, which are just the last season?
The monster was shocked, at a loss of what to say. His prey wasn't screaming or running away. He wasn't accustomed to such a response, but Mary stayed poised, as a lady should be. She displayed no attempt or desire to flee. She turned on the light so that he could see clearer and showed the big monster his face in the mirror. The monster gawked at his wretched reflection. He winced at his wrinkled and withered complexion. My skin feels like leather. I have crusty eyes.
Well, what did you expect when you don't moisturize?
My horns are askew. My coat is molten. He started to sob. I am truly revolting.
Come on now, don't cry,
said little Miss Mary.
You do have a choice. You don't have to be scary. Would you like to be pampered in fashion and style? Made over by Mary?
The big monster smiled.
I can tell by that smile that it's been quite a while since you've seen a toothbrush or used the nail file. And I sense from that stench, or so I presume, that you're also a stranger to soap and perfume. Whew. Now, for the fun part, let's start from the top. To be brutally honest, your hair is a map. I have to be frank. I am not even so sure of how to approach this kind of coiffure. Maybe a fringe, or a crop, or maybe a bob. Or perhaps a French play will do such the job. Shing, shing. Sit, 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 sit. Shh. Ding. The monster opened his eyes and was over the moon. His cut looked like it had been done by the doll Sassoon. I'm so happy, Miss Mary. I could give you a kiss. Mary brushed up his teeth until they were white. She polished his horns so they were no longer such a fright. But Mary's makeover still wasn't complete. She waited for calm and then said, I suppose it's time we find you some suitable clothes. My daddy's quite fat, so I'm sure we could find a suit that would fit your enormous behind.
It became quite clear that the suit wouldn't fit when the monster bent down and his trousers split. Propriety precludes me from telling you where, but it was, as you guessed, an embarrassing tear.
I ought to have guessed it so much faster that getting you dressed would end in disaster.
But the monster was simply ecstatic. He tingled all over, though it may have been static. I want to thank you so much. I don't know where to start. Instead of my gut, there's a place in my heart. I shall teach other monsters how not to be feared. He thanked her once more, and with that disappeared. Mary never imagined one day she may yearn, not for dresses or shoes, but a monster's return. Creak. 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 The closet doors opened, and through them came out a motley of monsters with horns, tails, and snouts. Every single one weird, every single one wild, every single one that'd be pampin' and styled. What would you do when faced with such freaks? Do you faint? Do you run? Do you hide? Do you shriek? Miss Mary's solution was typically chic.
I will open the world's first monster boutique!